I'd like to call this April 28th, 2020 meeting of the Education and Finance Committee to order. Thank you to the good people of the House Public Information Services for facilitating public access to our deliberations here today. Remote hearings are possible thanks to a newly passed Rule 10.01. This rule has been posted online and is linked to in our public meeting notice on the House website. All remote hearings will be recorded and live streamed by House Public Information Services. Members have the contents of their virtual packets available to them, and for the public, these materials have been posted online. Members, if you're looking for all these items in one place, they are attached in the calendar event you have that Ms. Burt sent previously. To get on the list to be recognized by the chair, members using the Zoom interface have the ability to raise their hand via the app. Ms. Burt will place your name on the list to be recognized. If a member is on their phone and doesn't have access to the raise your hand feature, please email Ms. Burt and she will put your question in the queue. This is the digital equivalent of getting the attention of the chair or the CA during a face-to-face meeting. An email from your House account with the subject line, "Please recognize," is all that is required if you're on your phone. Members of the public, this is an open meeting. After our list of testifiers conclude, if you would like to ask a question and time remains on our agenda, please email the committee administrator, Sarah Burt, at sarah.burt, B-U-R-T, @house.mn, with an email that says public testimony question in the title of your email, and she will send you the login credentials for this meeting. Please also state in the email what your question or statement is, your full name, and if you're associated with an advocacy organization. If technology prevents us from having you virtually present in the meeting, the chair will read your comments for the public record. We will do the best we can to have members of the public weigh in virtually at the end of planned testimony for each bill. Would the committee administrator please take the roll?
Representative Dabney.
Present.
Representative Sandstead.
Present.
So what we're going to do now is the informational hearing on the
Representative
language.
Grisha, present.
Representative Bennett.
Present.
Representative Daniels.
Present.
Representative Damath.
Present.
Representative Detmer.
Detmer, present.
Representative Edelson.
Present.
Representative Erickson.
Erickson, present.
Representative Hewitt.
Present.
Representative Jurgens.
Jurgens, present.
Representative Katiza Watoon.
Here.
Representative Kunesh-Podein.
Here.
Representative Marquardt.
Present.
Representative Murphy.
Present.
Representative Nornis.
Present.
Representative Pryor.
Present.
Representative Richardson.
Present.
Representative Sandell.
Present.
Representative Youakim.
Present.
And a quorum is present.
Representative Murphy, would you like to make a motion to move House File 3992 to be before the committee with a recommendation to be referred to the Committee on Ways and Means?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Fantastic. Thank you, Representative Murphy. Would you please introduce your bill?
Thank you very much. House File 3992 is a bill that would give some flexibility to the Duluth School District 709, flexibility in developing a plan for long-term maintenance and their facilities, and giving them the opportunity to sell the 1890 old historic Central High School and to move into the 21st century with their building plans and their maintenance plans. And Bill Gronseth is the superintendent of 709 at the present time. And he has led us to this point where we can walk forward into the future for our buildings and maintenance costs. And he is the chief testifier today and can explain what we're doing with much more efficiency than I can.
Thank you, Representative Murphy. Superintendent Gronseth, good to see you. Welcome back to the committee. Please state your name for the record and proceed with your testimony.
Thank you. My name is Bill Gronseth, and I'm superintendent of the Duluth Public Schools. Chair Davney, members of the committee, thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. Thank you as well, Representative Murphy, for your support. On March 11th, we had the opportunity to testify for House File 3992 with the House Education Policy Committee, and we appreciated the committee's willingness to support the bill and move it to this committee for consideration. Before the pandemic closed down the Capitol, our team was able to brief most of you in person on this effort and received great support, and we thank you for that. It's not every day that you have a school district come to you to ask for approval to spend less money. However, that is the case today. Since 1890, our school district has had the privilege of calling one of Duluth's most iconic buildings home. If you've ever visited Duluth, you might have seen our clock tower nestled into the hillside. And now, 130 years later, we find ourselves faced with over $48.5 million of work that needs to be done in order to maintain this beautiful building, based on a feasibility study presented to the school board in June of 2019.
Mr. Chair, just one moment. We're working on some technology issues with Superintendent Gronseth.
If committee members and the public can be patient, little technology hiccup here.
Superintendent Gronseth, can you hear us now?
Yes, I'm sorry.
All right, so we heard about 30 seconds of your testimony. You could begin again.
All right. I think if I leave the video off, my internet should be able to keep up. So did we get to the point of it's not every day that you have a school district come to you to ask approval to spend less money? But
No,
that
but that's
is
a
the
good
case
place to
today.
start.
Well, since 1890, our school district has had the privilege of calling one of Duluth's most iconic buildings home. If you've ever visited Duluth, you might have seen our clock tower nestled into the hillside. But now, 130 years later, we find ourselves faced with over $48.5 million of work that needs to be done in order to maintain this beautiful building, based on a feasibility study presented to the school board in June of 2019. This $48.5 million qualifies for long-term facilities maintenance funding, and we could start this work, but as we thought more about it, we wondered if there wouldn't be a more effective and responsible way to use district funding. If Historic Old Central High School was made available to a private developer, they could gain access to historic tax credits and the availability to utilize opportunity zone resources, and the chance to work with the city and county to create local partnerships with the ability to access other funding opportunities not available to the school district. We brought a team together to analyze our options. We assessed properties for sale, we looked at leasing options throughout Duluth, and then we looked to our own property, the Central High School, the now closed high school in the center of the city. Our property has both the capacity for the construction of more efficient district buildings, which would reduce our square footage by at least 2/3, and also the ability to create space for regional economic development. Our alternative learning center and our adult basic education would find homes within the city that are best suited to meet the needs of those learners. This construction would include relocating staff and programs and address our crumbling transportation building, along with creating over 50 acres of accessible district property ready for redevelopment. All this would be approximately $31.5 million, saving taxpayers $17 million on what would otherwise need to be done to Historic Old Central High School based on that feasibility study. In January, our school board approved listing Historic Old Central High School for sale, and the district has received multiple serious offers. In addition, there is interest in the redevelopment of parts of the Central on the Hill site in complement to our relocation there. This is why the passage of the bill is so critical now. Without legislative support, a relocation from Historic Old Central High School may not be possible because of the funding limitations. This bill helps us to be responsible with taxpayer dollars, allows us to efficiently house staff and programs, and gives Historic Old Central High School the ability to remain an iconic landmark in the city of Duluth. It's important for you to know that our school board has unanimously approved a resolution of support of this bill and directed administration to determine all options regarding the sale and redevelopment of district properties. We urge your support of House File 3992. Thank you for your time today, and I'm open for any questions you might have.
Thank you very much, Superintendent. Are there any questions from members? Members of the public, this is a public hearing, and this is the public portion for questions or comments. Ms. Bird, are there any members of the public who would like to testify, or are there any comments you've received today?
No, Mr. Chair, but I see that Representative Krisha has a question.
I see that as well. Thank you. Representative Krisha.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to the testifier. Mr. Strom, or well, I'll start with you, Mr. Strom. Would there be any cost to the state on this?
Mr. Strom?
Mr. Chair, Representative Krisha, Ms. Adrians may have additional information about this as well. The fiscal note is not yet done on this bill. We anticipate that this will mainly be a levy transaction, that the transaction would not involve state aid, but perhaps Ms. Adrians could comment regarding whether there might be small amounts of state aid implicated by this bill.
Ms. Adrians?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Mr. Strom summed it up quite nicely. I think that it's a little bit difficult to anticipate the cost on this, but it would be primarily a levy cost. And then there might also be a small cost to the state in terms of if there was an amount of an ag tax fund credit, but the agency believes that that would be like less than $10,000. So that would be a pretty minor cost. And we're still waiting for the completed fiscal note on this one.
Representative Krisha?
Okay, thank you, Ms. Adrians and Mr. Strom. So to the testifier, to the superintendent, can you again, and maybe I missed it, why are we going through this process versus the normal asking the voters for a referendum process? And I'm sorry if I missed that. I had a bad connection for a bit.
Superintendent Gronseth.
Thank you for the question. Did I freeze again?
No, we can hear you fine.
Okay, thank you. Well, given the environment right now, it is very difficult to have that kind of process. Right now, we have, as I said, multiple offers on the table, and to be able to move forward, this is our option for financing it and staying within timelines of those who are interested in both properties.
Representative Krisha?
Okay, I appreciate that, and I know I think I've actually talked to Chair Murphy about this, and I think I'm conflicted on this because I think we're going around some processes that are well established, and I'm a little conflicted on that. I'm trying to reconcile that. That's not your issue, that's mine. The other thing that I was just going to raise, if there is a cost, and I realize we don't have the fiscal note now. I know on Ways and Means we were already stripping away even $30,000 cost for another bill. So with a possibility of a negative target, many of these bills are just going to be hard and very difficult to move through. So thank you, Superintendent. Thank you for the bill.
Thank you, Representative Krisha. Any other questions from members or comments from the public? Representative Pryor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I did want to go back just to make sure I'm, that we review kind of what the highlight of this bill is. And as I heard the testimony and as I remember the discussion that that the delegation had with me before this bill was brought forward, it's $17 million to the Duluth School District. And that's $17 million to Duluth taxpayers, who are also state taxpayers. So, I think even if we're talking about 10,000 state money, those small amounts that might, get tossed around and for the states might be a small cost, but I think we're weighing against 17 million. If that's correct, if that's the correct number. And I had that as a question to the testifier. So that whatever the correct number is, that's what we're weighing in the balance now. And when we think about our Duluth school children, wow, it has a big impact. So to the testifier, can you review again what the number is that we're talking about for Duluth school children?
Superintendent Gronseth.
Thank you. The estimated cost to refurbish historical Central High School is $48.5 million. The estimated cost of this project is $31.5 million, which means the difference is $17 million in savings.
Thank you. Representative Pryor? Thank you. Representative Detmer.
Yeah, thank you. And a question to the superintendent. Again, thank you for being online today. Has this been discussed at the board meetings? Have you had any input from members of the community at the board meetings on this issue?
Superintendent Gronseth.
The board did unanimously vote in support of this bill. And so we have had public discussions on that. And there has been some public discussion, both in support and asking questions.
Representative Detmer?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. And Superintendent, what is your feeling about the community? Is this something that they feel that the community needs to support, and the feedback you've gotten, I'm sure, what's your gut feeling?
You know, we hear a lot about how, we hear a lot about how much people love this building and want to see it preserved. Also recognize that the school district really does not have the funding to be able to do that themselves, and understand that a private developer would better be able to support this building. Sorry, the truck going by my office right now. And so, yes.
All right. With that, Representative Murphy, any closing comments?
As I said, it gives some flexibility and promise for the future for the school district that has had financial problems for many years. And it's an out for having new bases in the community for adult education and for the learning centers and for the transportation of the students in Duluth, for the bus services for the kids to get to school. $17 million of savings to the school district means that they can address some of the financial needs of the special education programs where we have not been successful in legislating a solution for the Duluth Public Schools delivery of special education. And so this is a plan, and it's a plan that demands input and reporting to the constituents, to the people of Duluth, on what the school district is doing. The plan also is in working with the State Department of Education. It answers future solutions. It makes future solutions possible for the school district without feeling like they're being held back. It's very, very important that this bill passes now because of we're 20 years into this century and we're talking about an 1890 building. So please support this bill.
Thank you, Representative Murphy. With that, Representative Murphy renews her motion to refer House File 3992 to the Committee on Ways and Means. Ms. Sunderland, please take the roll.
Representative Dabney.
Aye.
Representative Sandsted.
Aye.
Representative Kresha.
Kresha votes aye.
Representative Bennett. Representative Bennett.
She had to step away.
Representative Daniels.
Daniels votes aye.
Representative Demuth.
Aye.
Representative Detmer.
Detmer votes aye.
Representative Edelson.
Yes.
Representative Erickson.
Erickson votes aye.
Representative Hewitt.
Yes.
Representative Jurgens.
Jurgens votes aye.
Representative Katiza Watun.
Aye.
Representative Kunesh-Podein.
Aye.
Representative Marquardt.
Aye.
Representative Murphy.
Aye.
Representative Nornis.
Aye.
Representative Pryor.
Aye.
Representative Richardson,
Aye.
Representative Sandell,
Aye.
Representative Youakim.
Aye.
With 19 ayes, 0 nays, and 1 excused, the motion prevails.
Mr. Chair?
I'm sorry.
Bennett,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Representative Bennett.
I'm sorry, I had to step out and I was back at the end of the voting and I didn't know how to get your attention, but may I still vote aye?
You may.
All right, thank you so much. I had to take a phone call. I'm sorry.
No worries. So that would be 20 ayes then, Ms. Sunderland?
correct.
With 20 ayes and 0 nays, the motion prevails. Representative Murphy, Superintendent Gronseth, thank you both.
Thank you very much.
Next on our agenda is House File 1177, was heard on March 7th, 2019. All testimony was taken on this bill at that time, and we have no amendments before us. Today, we will simply be moving this bill on to its next committee. Representative Pryor, would you like to make a motion to move House File 1177 before the committee with a recommendation to be referred to the Committee on Ways and Means?
Yes, Mr. Chair, that is my motion.
Thank you, Representative Pryor. Representative Wazlawik, welcome to the committee.
Morning, Mr. Chair.
Good morning. Could you briefly review the bill for us, renew our memory, please?
I can certainly do that. Mr. Chair and members, House File 1177 would expand the successful Minnesota Math Corps program to serve more students struggling with mathematics. As we all heard from our communities, distance learning is a struggle for some students and leaving some students behind and widening the achievement gap for some students. The need for individualized instruction to help accelerate student achievement will be even more important as schools grapple with the impacts of the pandemic and as we look forward to what might happen in the fall. As you may recall from testimony on the bill, Minnesota Math Corps is effective because it really addresses the specific needs of each student with frequent brief assessments to ensure that the interventions are working. And we know that early math proficiency is really critical because later math concepts that students learn build on the understanding of these fundamental skills. Looking out to the summer and next fall, there's a great deal of uncertainty, as most folks are aware, about how schools are going to be functioning. We don't know if students will be in classrooms, if there's going to be distance learning or possibly some sort of hybrid model. Minnesota Math Corps as well as Reading Corps are planning for the potential of all of these scenarios, and the research team at Serve Minnesota that runs these programs is working on models that will deliver their proven interventions virtually or part-time in person and online. As we've heard, distance learning poses a number of challenges, but it also highlights how instruction can be delivered in more individualized ways. If you've seen Minnesota Math Corps tutors working with students, you can see how this might work. I had the opportunity to do an observation with several of my colleagues of a Minnesota Math Corps tutor working with students, and we were able to see the students, what the tutors did using manipulatives, and then getting feedback from the Math Corps tutor as they work on the problems. This could be done virtually, and students could have those manipulatives at home while they're working through this with the tutor. So there are opportunities here for this program to be done in ways that would be effective no matter how it's done. Minnesota receives the second most federal AmeriCorps funding of any state because we invest in data-driven programs such as the Minnesota Math Corps. As funding at the state level gets even more challenging, we're looking for ways to leverage more resources from the federal government to deliver these needed supports. And this bill does leverage funding from the federal government. I would like to thank my co-authors, Representatives Bennett, Juergens, Kunesh-Podein, Dabney, and Hewitt, and appreciate the opportunity to present the bill today. And I'm happy to take any questions if folks have any questions.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions from committee members? Seeing none, Representative Pryor renews her motion that House File 1177 be referred to the Committee on Ways and Means. With that, Ms. Sunderland, will you please take the roll?
Mr. Chair, this is this CA. There's a number of questions.
Oh, I'm sorry. Representative Erickson. You have a
Thank you,
question.
Mr. Chair. I have a question for Representative Wazlawik.
Certainly.
Thank you, Representative Wazlawik, for bringing this bill forward. I know the math core is very important, just like the reading core is. I just wanted to know if you have observed how the tutors are using their knowledge and skills to help the students now during distance learning. I heard you explain, I think, what is a face-to-face, but have you observed how it's occurring during distance learning?
Representative Wazlawik.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Representative Erickson. I have not observed personally how that works, but I have observed how the tutors work with the students in person, and I do think that it's adaptable to distance learning in terms of what they talk about, and they use a lot of visuals, so like whiteboards, for example. And so if students have whiteboards or paper or that sort of thing available, there is a way for the tutor and the student to interact, kind of like we're doing right now via video, to kind of have that same back and forth that they would have in an in-person session, and to be able to show, whether it's through manipulatives or the whiteboard or the paper that they're working on, to be able to show those results and have those conversations back and forth.
Representative Erickson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So Representative Wazlawik, you think that a tutor could be located in his or her home and be providing this help for our students during distance learning? Do you think that's actually a possibility? And how would that be worked out with the district? Do you have any ideas in regard to that?
Apologies. Representative Wazlawik.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Representative Erickson, thank you for the question. I think that it could be similar to how distance learning is done with teachers and students through the various programs that schools are using right now. I think the how or the method, the specific way that it would be done would have to be something that would be worked out with the school district itself. I do think that, as I noted, that there are going to be students who are even further behind than they were once we get back to, if we get back to kind of normal instruction. And so I think it's really important that we have these extra resources available, and that our schools have done a really good job in most places of being able to provide the technology for students to be able to do this and to be able to facilitate the process of instruction from teachers. And I think they could do the same with teachers as well.
Representative Erickson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. One last question, Representative Wazlawik. Have you considered where the $500,000 would come from as far as the increase in the appropriation for the current biennium?
Representative Wazlawik.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Representative Erickson. I don't know exactly where that is. I'm not sure if if we've had any discussion about budget targets in this committee or anything like that. But I think it's worth conversation about moving forward, knowing that we are in uncertain times with the budget, that it's a piece that we want to advance, but we want to also be aware of the fact that we do have budget challenges. And so this is a thing that we think is worthy of investment, but we also know that we're going to have to think about where that money is coming from.
So, Mr. Chair, do we have a target?
Not at this time, no.
Thank you.
Representative Bennett.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I'll just make a comment because I thank Representative Erickson. She must have read my mind and asked my question, which was, where is the funding coming from? And we don't have a target. And I just want to mention I'm a co-author on this bill, and I would still keep my name on here. I solidly support Reading Corps and Math Corps. They're an excellent program that comes alongside students. And I thank Representative Wazlawik for carrying that bill. But I cannot come to vote for this now because of this fiscal responsibility in my mind, is that we don't have a funding source. We know we're going into great deficit. I just don't believe we should be spending money right now, except for emergency things. And I'm going to feel bad about it. I love this program and I love Reading Corps, but I'm going to have to vote no. So I just wanted to mention that. Thank you.
Representative Jurgens.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I guess I'm echoing what my colleagues have said. I'm a co-author on this bill. I support the concept. I do think it is a worthy investment. I am concerned with the $1 million over 2-year investment. And Mr. Chair, Representative Erickson asked about a target. Do you know when we might get a target for this year? Has that been discussed? I know that you just answered a few minutes ago that we do not have one yet. I'm just wondering when you might expect one.
Representative Jurgens, my understanding is Minnesota Management and Budget will be coming out with a budget forecast or budget review. Not the same as the budget forecasts we get twice a year next week, and we'll be taking an assessment of the state's financial condition at that time.
Okay, thank you. And again, then due to the financial constraints that we might be facing, even though I'm a co-author of this and a supporter, I will be voting no today.
Representative Krisha.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And to the bill author, my comments won't come as anything new from what you've already heard. I would just, I look at this and I realize we as a committee are going to have some tough decisions in front of us, and maybe not even this existing committee, but the one that convenes after January 1st, and we see how the new makeup is. I suspect we have a target already. It's negative. What the Minnesota Management Budget Office has already signaled is that we are going backwards. And so while I would love nothing more to push this program forward, but we already had a superintendent on here who had bad connections. We have broadband issues. We have telecommunications issues. We are going to have a tough time to wade through all this. And while it's easy just to pass a bill through committee and to vote yes and say it's a great idea, I think it, for me, goes against my principles as a state representative looking at the whole picture of how we're going to get there. And those are going to be hard decisions. And I'm going to try to do my very best just to be consistent and let everybody know, because I'm sure you're all getting the same emails I am requesting projects and money, but the reality is we're going backwards. And I have to keep taking a stand on all those so I can be as consistent as I can to let people know that tougher fiscal times are ahead. Even though we may vote for $10,000, we might vote for $50,000. The reality is that money doesn't exist. We're voting for dollars that don't exist. And, good Lord help the folks that are going to have to vote to take money away next year or to find ways to make payments happen, because those are going to be really tough decisions. So I'm trying to help my future legislators and committee members to say, we're going to have to start making tough decisions now, and those no votes are going to mean something. So with that, to the bill author, great program, great idea. I'm just sorry that times have changed and that I have to vote no on this.
Representative Wazlawik, any closing comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, committee members. And I certainly appreciate the tough times we're in right now. I do think that we're going to have a lot of makeup to do in terms of student achievement, and want to make sure that we're pushing forward with programs that will help that and not falling behind in terms of education gaps and that sort of thing, given what's happening right now. And I hope that, this conversation that we're having about access and broadband, that folks will be supportive of efforts to advance, something in that arena, because I agree. I think that there is an issue with access to internet around the state, and we're finding that out even more with this distance learning. So thank you again for having this bill in front of you today, and hope for your support.
Thank you, Representative Wazlawik. The chair is aware that Serve Minnesota is stepping up further and is looking for 335 people to serve as AmeriCorps members as part of their emergency response initiative this summer. Members, to the conversation we've had, there are in fact difficult decisions before us. No is not necessarily the hard vote here. A willingness to invest in our children, particularly those who will most benefit from that investment, may be the harder and more courageous vote. But I will leave it to each member to check their conscience and make that decision as to whether to move this bill forward during these uncertain times or not. With that, Ms. Sunderland, excuse me, would you please take the roll on the bill?
Yeah.
Representative Dabney.
Aye.
You want to hang on? Hang on, I got to take a vote here for a second.
Representative Sandstead.
Aye.
Representative Krisha.
Krisha, no.
Representative Bennett.
No.
Representative Daniels.
It's an unfortunate no vote for Daniels.
Representative Damath.
No.
Representative Detmer.
Detmer votes no.
Representative Edelson. Representative Edelson.
Aye.
Representative Erickson.
Erickson sadly votes no.
Representative Hewitt.
Yes.
Representative Jurgens.
Jurgens votes no.
Representative Katiza Watoon.
Aye.
Representative Kunesh-Podein.
Aye.
Representative Marquardt.
Aye.
Representative Murphy.
Aye.
Representative Nornis.
No.
Representative Pryor.
Aye.
Representative Richardson.
Aye.
Representative Sandell.
Aye.
Representative Youakim.
Aye.
With 12 ayes and 8 nays, the motion prevails.
Congratulations, Representative Wazlawik. The motion prevails and the bill moves along to the Committee on Ways and Means. Next bill on the agenda is House File 3642. Representative Kunesh-Podein, would you like to move your bill to be before the committee and referred to Ways and Means?
Yes, I so move this bill to be moved to Ways and Means. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Representative Kunesh-Podein, do you wish to introduce the bill?
Yes, thank you. Just a little bit of background on this bill. Our state has 4 BIE schools. Those are Bureau of Indian of Education schools. They are tribally operated schools that are funded by the BIE through a contract under the Indian Self-Determination and Education Assistance Act of 1975. So Minnesota's 4 BIE schools are operated by the tribe or tribal government via a contract or grant, and they educate about 817 students. They implement the same academic standards and they align their achievement goals with those of all the other public schools in Minnesota. They also are responsible for taking the MCAs and other required assessments. The 4 schools are the Bagonegeshig School in Bena, the Circle of Life School in White Earth, the Fond du Lac Ojibwe School in Cloquet, and the Neashing School in Onamia. The second part that you need to know is the Permanent School Fund, and that is a trust fund that is created by the Minnesota Constitution, and it's designated as a long-term source of revenue for our public schools. This past fiscal year, 2020, the payment to each individual student in our state was $45.04, and that was registered in each of the Minnesota school districts. Unfortunately, Minnesota's 4 tribal contract schools that educate the 817 tribal schools students are not recognized as unique school districts, and therefore they have been left out of that education funding pool. Historically, we know that the federal government that is responsible for providing the funds for these schools have always underfunded them. And this past legislative session, we passed House File 1100 that ensured that those American Indian Tribal contract school aid continues at its current level. And when it was signed by the governor, it was an affirmation of our commitment to the permanent equalization of educational funding for all of Minnesota's students. And it's made an undeniable difference in those schools and to those students, those families, and the communities, because the favorable outcomes in their scores, their attendance, their graduation rates, and then going on to post-secondary education has been quite phenomenal. So this bill, House File 3642, will continue to level that playing field for tribal contract schools in the amount that the schools would receive if they were eligible for the funds under the distribution of revenue from the permanent school fund. This bill was drafted to provide the same per pupil amount of aid that goes to all school districts and will now include the 4 tribal contract schools. House File 3642 has a statewide cost of $37,000 per year. I think somebody equated it to about 1% of our education funding. It's a minor investment in the future of 810 of Minnesota students. And at this time, I would like to turn it over to Lori Harper. She is the Director of Education at the Leech Lake Band of Ojibwe.
Ms. Harper, welcome to the committee. Please state your name for the record and proceed with your testimony.
Good morning, Chair and committee members. I am Lori Harper, the Director of Education for the Leech Lake Band of Ojibwe. I am also the elected chairperson for the Buganagijic School Board here at Leech Lake. 2 very separate positions, yet they're intertwined with my responsibilities to my community and within the tribal education department here. I appear today in support of Representative Kunesh-Podein's bill on permanent school fund replacement aid. The Leech Lake Band of Ojibwe and the Buganagijic School are in support of the bill. As a tribal education director, I work with 10 LEAs in my area, including our early childhood sites here at Leech Lake. Our tribal education department is in place to ensure equitable access to education for American Indian students throughout the state, as well as within our community here in Cass County, Hubbard County, Beltrami County, and Itasca counties. We consult with the LEAs on their title plans as required under the ESSA and also on the Indian Education Formula grants through Minnesota Department of Education that many of the public schools throughout the state receive funding on. As a Tribal Nations Education Committee member, I also work with the committee on consultation with 11 school districts in the metro area as required under ESSA and also under the Minnesota Department of Education Indian Education Program Plan, which is what this formula grant funds. Real quickly, what we've determined throughout the state, when we take a look at the data and how our American Indian students are represented in the data is, they're performing lower than their contemporaries and their counterparts in any school setting. And that includes our charter school settings. And one of the things that we've discussed is when our students, the American Indian students, have access to that equitable education, whether that's through funding sources or through math or reading strategies, when our students perform better, all students throughout the state of Minnesota perform better, and that data looks better. I thank you for allowing me to speak in support of Representative Kunesh-Podein's bill, and if you have any questions, I'll answer them.
Thank you, Ms. Harper. Members, are there questions for Ms. Harper or Ms. Kunesh-Podein, Representative Kunesh-Podein? Representative Krisha.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Representative Kunesh-Podein, for bringing this forward. I guess my question is to the testifier or to the bill author. Just a couple things I'm trying to reconcile. I certainly get trying to find funding sources and improving achievements, and I get all that. I guess my first question is, and I was contacted on this as this bill was moving through, we're walking the line between public, and I think the words you used were not unique schools in Minnesota or non-public. Would there be a possibility, or would you be open to an amendment if somebody were to, and I'm asking because I want to protect the funds or see how this goes, but that these funds would be going to other non-public schools? I mean, aren't we setting a precedent here that we're starting to blur those lines a little bit?
Mr. Strom, I'm actually going to throw this to you, because don't we run into constitutional problems with the sort of thing that Representative Krisha is suggesting?
Mr. Chair, members, let me address both your question, Mr. Chair, and that of Representative Krisha. Representative Davney, in the state constitution, there is a provision that addresses how the permanent school fund money must be distributed. And the language that uses is to the school districts of the state. So it doesn't refer to students. It uses the word school districts when it refers to the distribution. And then it says those funds should be distributed to the school districts as determined by state law. So the way the formula is currently constructed is on a per pupil basis, measuring adjusted average daily membership for the school districts and charter schools of the state. And that's the fund, the total proceeds each year, the dividends and interest from the fund, are divided by that student count, and that amount, which, as Representative Kunesh-Podein stated, was $45.04 for the current year, then is paid on a per pupil basis to each school district and charter school in the state. So in terms of the constitutional provision related to the permanent school fund, that refers to school districts. In terms of Representative Krisha's question, perhaps committee members would want to talk about some of the issues that raises. I think it may be helpful if Ms. Harper addressed how she views the tribal contract schools in terms of public and non-public. In statute, there is an aid program in 124D83 that discusses what conditions the tribal contract schools need to meet in order to receive state aid. As Representative Kunesh-Podein stated, the tribal contract schools have their contract with the BIE. And I think the use of the words public and non-public may be different depending on the settings. So I wouldn't offer an opinion as to whether the tribal contract schools are a public or a non-public institution, but perhaps the author and Ms. Harper would like to speak to how they view the status of the tribal contracts.
Representative Kunesh-Podein or Ms. Harper, which of you wants to take one? Ms. Harper, please.
Mr. Chairman, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
So one thing I would like to state with our tribally controlled schools throughout the state, the 4 tribally controlled schools, while we receive funding from the Bureau of Indian Education to provide educational services and to our students, we also have local policies that allow for admittance. We don't deny admittance based on race. So we do have, each of our schools do have populations of non-Native students. Our priority, of course, is with our American Indian students in our communities. They get the priority in consideration, but we do have open enrollment policies. That's, I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember what the actual question was.
I think fundamentally the question is, and Representative Krisha, you can certainly correct me, but are the tribal schools non-public schools?
And Mr. Chair?
Yes, Representative Krisha, please.
And let me take it a step further, and this will help you out, Ms. Harper. What I'm looking at is down the road. Let's say this gets approved. The intent is the money would flow into the tribal schools. However, the precedent may be set that other non-public schools would have access to that dollars. And what I'm looking at, and just so we weigh this out, is are we recognizing the fact that if we do this and walk down this path, that other non-public schools would start to come in and look for this dollars as well as a source of revenue? I'm just looking down the road. I'm seeing what you're doing. I understand the problems you're trying to solve, but I'm recognizing the fact that if we're really walking down the path of, are we non-public, are we public, somebody's going to make the argument of how they get to these dollars. And I just want your response on that, if that helps.
Ms. Harper, does that help?
Mr. Chair, yes, it does. So I guess my counter question is, do you consider charter schools public schools?
Ms. Harper, I'm going to stop us from getting into that back and forth. I understand what you're doing, but if you could respond without provoking a back and forth, I'd appreciate it.
And Mr. Chair, if I could.
Yeah, certainly, Representative Krisha.
And Ms. Harper, I'm not trying to defeat it. And I don't want to do the back and forth either. And I can leave it as a rhetorical question. I'll just point it this way. What I see is the possibility of this being open for future legislatures to take that as an avenue. And so maybe that's something that should be just discussed in the future. I'm really not trying to position schools against each other. I'm just trying to look at how this policy will open up. I'll just go to my second question, if that's okay, and this one's also rhetorical. And again, Ms. Harper, I totally appreciate what you're doing. I totally get where you're going, but there are things that are opening up. This funding source also includes many areas that have mineral rights, and some of those things would be places like Polymet, and I know there's been oppositions to those. I'm just wondering, and please don't respond to this, it's just an inconsistency I see of, what are we really walking ourselves into? And maybe what I would offer in response to this is there a better way that we could accomplish what you're trying to do without opening all these other avenues up? And I'll just leave it as a rhetorical, those are just issues and inconsistencies I think that need to be addressed at some point. So really not trying to deep six this, not trying to do any of that, but I do see some inconsistencies that could cause problems for you.
Thank you,
Chair Dabney.
Yes, Representative Kunesh-Podein.
Thank you. To respond to that first question, when we passed legislation to create the equalization funding for the BIE schools, and we had the former Commissioner of Education, she assured us that Minnesota does recognize those schools as public schools and that they were eligible for those sort of funding streams and revenue that would help the schools with their with kind of equalizing the funding for all the students in Minnesota. And then in response to the second statement by Representative Krisha, this, while we are talking about school trust lands and the funds that come from those, this funding does not come from school trust monies. We're just saying that in addition to the formula that every student, public school student gets in Minnesota, they also receive this little bit of extra, the $44.04 a year. And that is our request to ensure that those students also have access to that small amount, $37,000 per year. It makes some difference, not a whole lot of difference, but it certainly does add to the opportunity gaps that are those four schools often are subject to.
Thank you, Representative Kunesh-Podein. Representative Erickson, you have a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is for Mr. Strom. I recall having this discussion about public, non-public when former Chair Alice Seagren created the contract school funding. And so as I recall, the department puts this funding under non-public. Is that correct, Mr. Strom? And can you remind me of that history a bit, or the committee as well?
Mr. Strom?
Mr. Chair, Representative Erickson, yes, the Department of Education has submitted a number of documents to the committee over the years. In some cases, they have listed the tribal contract aid under the non-public category, and in other years and in other times, they have included it in different sections and referred to it as public. So there's been a pattern, even with the same commissioners of education, sometimes referring to the tribal contract school status in different ways. But your memory is correct that in one of the years when Commissioner Seagren was there, the documents did list the tribal contract aid under the heading of non-public.
Representative Erickson?
No, I just wanted Mr. Strom to clarify that. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Is there anyone in the, Ms. Bird, is there anyone in the public who has requested an opportunity to speak or ask a question?
No, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. With that, Representative Kunesh-Podein renews her motion, that House File 3642 be recommended to pass to the Committee on Ways and Means. Ms. Sunderland, could you take the roll, please?
Representative Davney.
Aye.
Representative Sandsted.
Aye.
Representative Kresha.
Kresha, no.
Representative Bennett.
No.
Representative Daniels.
Daniels votes no.
Representative Damath.
No.
Representative Detmer.
No.
Representative Edelson.
Aye.
Representative Erickson.
Erickson votes no.
Representative Hewitt.
Aye.
Representative Jurgens.
No.
Representative Katiza Watoon.
Aye.
Representative Kunesh-Podein.
Aye.
Representative Marquardt.
Aye.
Representative Murphy.
Aye.
Representative Nornis.
No.
Representative Pryor.
Aye.
Representative Richardson.
Aye.
Representative Sandell.
Aye.
Representative Joachim.
Aye.
With 12 ayes and 8 nays, the motion prevails.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sunderland. Representative Kunesh-Podein, congratulations. The motion prevails. You're on to Ways and Means. Our last bill on the calendar, Representative Erickson, House File 4407. Would you like to move that House File 4407 be before the committee with a recommendation to it be for the Committee on Ways and Means?
Mr. Chair, I do move House File 4407 to be discussed today and referred to the Committee on Ways and Means.
Thank you very much. Representative Erickson, please introduce your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. This is an unusual request from one of my school districts. It happens to be Ogilvie. It's a small school district in East Central Minnesota that has a buildup in their debt service fund that they would like to use to keep them out of statutory operating debt. Next year, they were part of a maximum effort dating back to 1990, long before I served. They have made their final payment in that maximum effort loan in January, and so they're free and clear in that respect. But I know they're concerned about the coming school year, and Superintendent Kathy Belsheim is here to testify to their need. And so, Mr. Chair, I hope that you would refer to her now to give her testimony.
Thank you, Representative Erickson. Superintendent Belsheim, welcome to the committee. Please state your name for the record and proceed with your testimony.
Good morning. I am Kathy Belsheim, presently in my 9th year as Superintendent of Ogilvie Public Schools. Thank you, Chair Davney, Representative Erickson, and all committee members for this opportunity to share with you information regarding our request for that one-time transfer from Ogilvie Public Schools Debt Service Fund to our general fund. Ogilvie Schools is a low socioeconomic rural district of approximately 560 students housed in our one pre-K-12 building complex, about 20 miles south of Lake Mille Lacs. Our taxpayers just satisfied their responsibility of that 30-year capital loan. In fact, it was yesterday on April 27th, 2020. And it has been a great accomplishment of Lion pride in our district. However, this accomplishment has come at a high price, the highest tax rate possible for the last 30 years. The result being that our district is so close to SOD, statutory operating debt. Over the past 2 years, we were at a negative 1.42% in fiscal year 18 and recently a negative 2.43% in fiscal year 19. A negative 2.5 is the determining factor for SOD. We do not have an operating levy in place. The Ogilvie School Board went to taxpayers in 3 consecutive years, 2008, 9, and 10, with operating levy elections. They all failed simply because the taxpayers, with paying that highest tax rate possible, which is currently at 26.07% adjusted net tax capacity, honestly, our taxpayers simply could not dig deeper into their pockets. Our Ogilvie taxpayers do, however, support public education and have continued to support the one-day bond elections where authority in the debt reduction fund has built up over time. We are respectfully requesting your assistance in this one-time transfer, providing us stability as we continue to prepare for an operating levy, which we were going to actually pursue during the general election 2020 or the fall election 2021. But now with the uncertainty of these times with the coronavirus, we have had to put that action on hold. We have also undergone budget reductions over the past 3 years, most recently $300,000, which is approximately 5% of our annual budget during this current fiscal year. I also wanted to thank you for legislation funneled through MDE to our Minnesota school districts, allowing some fund transfers due to COVID-19. But because we are so close to SOD, this authority has not offered relief to our district because we have so very few funds with excess dollars. So similar to this legislation where the transfers cannot increase state aid or result in additional property tax authority, our request for this one-time fund transfer from our debt reduction fund into our general fund would also follow those guidelines. I thank you, Chair Dabney, Representative Erickson, and committee members for your time today and this opportunity to share a bit of our Ogilvie Public Schools with you. And we invite you to please visit our schools in rural Minnesota when this pandemic is over. Thanks so much. And if you do have questions, I will certainly try to answer those for you today.
Thank you, Superintendent Blesher. Apologies for that. Members, any questions?
Yes, the author does.
Oh, Representative Erickson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I didn't raise my hand because I figured that I still had the floor. This fund transfer has, I think, forced a fiscal note to be prepared. And I wondered if Mr. Adrians could address that, or Mr. Strom, because the fact that Superintendent Belscheid mentioned the payoff of the maximum effort loan fund, and that was done in January, by the way. I wondered why a fiscal note was required or requested, if that could be answered.
Ms. Adrians, is that a question best for you?
Oops, sorry, Mr. Chair and members. I will start to answer it, but I'm happy for Tim or Mr. Strom to jump in as well. I requested a fiscal note. I wanted to be sure that there would not be a cost to the state. Sometimes with these types of changes, there might be, if it had been a portion of the maximum effort loan aid, that's the kind of thing that would be intended to reduce property tax levies in the district. And so it's just a matter of just trying to make sure that there wouldn't be a cost against the state for this. And we are still waiting, so I don't have a completed fiscal note on this. And I'm sure between the district and the agency, they would know whether or not there would be a cost to the state.
Mr. Strom, do you have anything to add?
Mr. Chair, Representative Erickson and committee members, the issue for the or for the school district, and the superintendent may want to elaborate on this, is that after 30 years of paying their maximum effort capital loan, this should be their last year, and there should be a pay 20 tax collection for that. As the superintendent mentioned, in some past years, there's been a one-day bond sale
Yeah, that sounds
in the district
perfect.
to help with its needs regarding its facility upkeep and maintenance needs. So there's a combination of issues at work here. There's the payoff of the maximum effort student loan, or the remainder paid before the forgiveness is entirely done. And as the superintendent mentioned, I believe yesterday was the actual day of 30 years where the loan is forgivable after that time. But then there's the second issue about transfers from the debt fund. And under Minnesota statutes 475.61, there are certain limitations on transfers out of the debt fund. And if money's transferred out of that fund under the current statute, which this bill is exempting, there's an issue about the transfer going only to reduce levies and other funds. So as Ms. Adrian's mentioned, the purpose of the fiscal note was to confirm for the committee that there shouldn't be an aid or levy charge, and we haven't gotten that information back from the executive branch yet.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Strong. Representative Erickson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. So perhaps Superintendent Belsheim could comment on her conversations with the Department of Education in regard to this, because I know that Ogilvie has worked with the department as well as with a consultant, and of course with Mr. Strom, and perhaps even Ms. Adrians on this issue. So perhaps we could hear what kinds of interaction, Superintendent Belsheim, you've had with the department.
Superintendent Belsheim?
Yes, Mr. Chair. I have had conversations, both our business manager and our Kristen Hansen is our financial advisor through PFM, and these discussions with the school board of how the final taxes would basically shake out in the end have been going on for many years. I would say at least the last 4 years, as we were getting closer to the end of our capital loan. And also back in, I believe it was 2016, where there was restructuring with all the capital loan districts, and we were so close to having it paid off, that would not have been financially or fiscally responsible to our taxpayers to restructure it at that time. So the paperwork that I have, and we have been in contact again over the years with Terry Yetter and with Tom Melcher, and actually having meetings at MDE, also with Bill Kiso and Lon Mo. And so all of these people have been having conversations with our district over the years. So the document that I have shows that we would have with the alternating of the tax year being different than our fiscal year. And that's where our taxpayers, the actual responsibility towards the loan has now been completed and satisfied, but because the taxes still go through the end of the calendar year. So our records show that we would have $724,285.63 available, but we know that that might not be the concrete number, that there may be some adjustments to that. And that was the reason for, with the House file, having a limit or a cap of up to $800,000 with the fund, the transfer. And so I know that this is complicated. It has been for us here at Ogilvie as well, but we believed that this was all in place. And again, we've actually had meetings with MDE PPE, in their offices as well. So I'm hoping that the fiscal note does come out exactly the way it needs to be. And we didn't realize that there was an issue until as of late the last few days. So my apologies that this hasn't been worked out prior to this meeting, your committee meeting today. So my apologies, Mr. Chair.
Not a problem, Superintendent. Representative Krisha.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And to the superintendent, understand where you're at. Again, we have a lot of uncertainty, and just so there's no surprises, I can't support this bill at this time until we know a little bit more about what's going to flow from the federal, how we're going to handle all of the transfer of accounts and all that. I think there are other solutions, and I'm sure this will pass through the committee, but I just wanted to go on the record saying we need to keep looking for other options to help you out. I think they're out there, and hopefully we can get some more certainty to you. But I just wanted to tell you where I would be before we got to the vote.
Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Krisha. Seeing no more questions, Representative Erickson, any brief closing comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. I do move or renew my motion to move this proposal to Ways and Means, and I ask for your support.
Thank you very much. With that, Ms. Sunderland, would you please take the roll on the bill?
Representative Dabney.
Aye.
Representative Sandsted.
Aye.
Representative Krisha.
Krisha, no.
Representative Bennett.
Aye.
Representative Daniels.
Daniels votes aye.
Representative Demuth.
Aye.
Representative Detmer.
Aye.
Representative Edelson.
Aye.
Representative Erickson.
Erickson votes aye.
Representative Hewitt.
Aye.
Representative Jurgens.
Aye.
Representative Katiza-Watoon.
Aye.
Representative Kunesh-Podein.
Aye.
Representative Marquardt.
Aye.
Representative Murphy.
Aye.
Representative Nornis.
Aye.
Representative Pryor.
Aye.
Representative Richardson.
Aye.
Representative Sandell.
Aye.
Representative Joachim.
Aye.
With 19 ayes and 1 nay, the motion prevails.
Motion does prevail. Representative Krisha, were you seeking?
Mr. Chair, just final, I just had some process questions when we're all done.
With 19 ayes and 1 nay, the motion prevails. The bill is moved on to Ways and Means. Representative Krisha.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And are all of our other bills covered? I was just looking for closing questions.
Yes, this concludes our hearing.
Okay, so my question to you, Mr. Chair, and I know we're in interesting times with the teleconferencing and all that. Does the 24-hour amendment rule still apply, and how do you want to handle that? I noticed when we got the agenda and the bills for this, we had roughly 25 minutes or so if we were doing the 24-hour rule for amendments. How do you want this to go? And, you know, I know we're trying to be as close to normal as possible, but we're not at normal. So how do you see that process?
You know, Representative Krisha, we are conscious of providing members of both parties the opportunity to offer amendments to any of the bills in a timely fashion when we post committee hearings and set that deadline. We also do recognize that, as you indicated, in this remote world, it's more challenging for members, it's more challenging for our staff, and we're obviously concerned about that. We can certainly will remain conscious of that as we move forward in these closing weeks of the session now.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, so if we could, you know, whatever we could do, and I know on both sides of staff, you're doing a great job, and my hat's off to everyone. If we can just make sure that we, you know, like I said, if we're going to be up against a tight line posting bills, I think all members, even from both sides, want to have the opportunity to offer amendments. So I guess my question is, are you if an amendment were to come in like at 23 hours away, are you going to accept that? Or maybe just give us some guidance so we know if there's still going to be opportunities to fix things. So thoughts on that?
Certainly. I'm certainly willing to work with individual members and with minority leadership to accommodate people's efforts, fulfilling our roles as state legislators. We'll work on making sure that things are posted in a timely fashion. If members can work with nonpartisan and partisan staff to make sure that amendments are offered in timely fashion. If we run into some roadblocks or some hiccups, let's call them hiccups, Representative Krisha, I'm confident that you and I are able to work those things out.
Agreed. I think we've done a nice job of, yeah. As long as we know the why behind it, it's all good. And then, of course, just the targets thing. I know you don't have any idea. None of us have an idea. But again, what we're seeing in the Ways and Means, it appears that Chair Carlson is very cognizant of the fact that things could go the wrong direction, or a direction we don't like. So I think it's in our best interest, as soon as we can find targets, or as soon as we can communicate that sets the tone and precedence. I hate giving the false sense of hope to some of these school districts that are in really, really tough times. And I understand why we're doing it, but the somber reality is still front and center. And so to you and your members, I appreciate all the work you're doing, but we have some interesting conversations ahead of us.
That we do, and choices. We have choices ahead of us. With that, members, this April 28th committee hearing of the House Education Finance Committee is adjourned. Thank you very much. Keep an eye on your emails.